everybody, this is Bernie from Stamp and Eat, and in today's video I am going to show you how I store my die cuts, my dies, and how I store my embossing folders and why I do what I do. So why don't you join me in my craft room and I will show you a very simple way to store everything that may be a helpful tip for you. So let's head over. So my die cut machine and my die and embossing machines are kept on the opposite side to my craft room, and as you can see I've got two standard ones and I've got a mini, and then I have my folders all alphabetical. So I've got two folders here. The one is exclusively for dies and the one is exclusively for embossing folders, and I keep my cutting mats for my dies in the one folder and I keep my cutting mats for my embossing folders in the other. And the reason I do that is I don't want to get my covers damaged. So I've even labeled them emboss top so that when I am embossing I'm only using those. Whereas with my for my dies, as you know, they get used quite a lot more, and so they get kept here with my dies. So I'm using the plates exclusively for that. So just one tip for you is choose a plate that is going to be your bottom and then use the plate that is going to be the top. And when your bottom one gets really used, this one's not there quite there yet, then discard this one and then make the one that was your top your bottom and swap out and get a new one. So that way you're not constantly having to replace two plates all the time. And then with regards to my dies, as you can see, I always use my die labeling machine and I put what the name is, and I also put in what catalog it was and what the year was. In days gone by, this is the first catalog that Stampin' Up! Have actually named their stamp sets and corresponded it with their dies and which is amazing. It's been long overdue. But in days gone by, I would have actually said, for example, like this is a really old one, goes with whatever the stamp set is. But I don't need to do that anymore because they're now making them the same. And you'll notice that my dies are on a magnetic sheet, so I don't lose any of the dies when I am using them. And if there are many, then I just put them back to back in the same die. You could get really fancy and create a filing system for them, but I don't do that. Then with my embossing folders, if it is a 3D folder, I always write on the top of it that it is a 3D folder, because if you are using a 3D folder in the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine, you will have different plates. You will only need to use the 1 and 4 plate, whereas if it is an ordinary ordinary embossing folder such as this one, then you will need to use 2 plates, which I have labeled. In my case, I label mine and I just have them as emboss top and emboss bottom, and you use that with your number 1 plate as well. So I find it particularly useful to actually write down when it is a 3D folder, and to be honest, a lot of them are now 3Ds, so it's just really great. And then me being me, I organize them in terms of size, just so that they are a lot more user-friendly in terms of looks. Interestingly enough, my embossing folders are never done in alphabetical order. I don't know why. I don't know why. Probably because of the sizing. And yet I've got different sizes here in the alphabetical order in my dies. So weird, I know, but that's what I do. So this has been a bit of a longer video, but I hope it's been a little bit helpful. And tomorrow we will talk about storing ribbons. See you then. Bye.